Hey guys, my name is Dilip Dwivedi and I'm from English Arena. Now in this video, I'm going to talk about causative verbs. Causative verbs. Okay, I will tell you the usage, like when do we use causative verbs, the formulation, like how do we make sentences using causative verbs, and I will also give you some examples just to make it more clear. So if you are ready, we can start. Alright guys, so let's start with the lesson. Now first I will talk about the usage of causative verbs, like when do we use causative verbs. So guys, we are not the experts of doing everything, right? We are not the expert of doing everything. No one can do everything, right? Sometimes we need other people to do our jobs. Let's take a situation. Suppose you have long hair and your parents want you to have short hair and they shout at you all the time. All the time they shout at you. So now, can you cut your hair? No, you don't cut your hair. You're not the expert. Cutting hair is not the area of your expertise. So what do? You go to barber. You go to barber and you get your hair cut. Or let's go for another situation. Suppose my wife wants to drink tea, but she's tired and she does not want to make it. Now she comes to me and asks me to make tea. Unfortunately, I'm also busy. So she forces me to make the tea. She forces me to make the tea. So guys, in both the cases, the job is done by someone else. You get your hair cut by the barber. My wife makes me make a cup of tea for her. So guys, we use causative verbs to talk about all the situation, all the actions which are done by someone else. I mean to say that you don't do the job, but you become a cause. Okay, remember the word causative. So you become a cause. Cause means reason. So because of you, the job is done. The job is done by someone else, right? Like maybe you force someone to do the job, or you convince someone to do the job, or you request someone to do the job. Right? Another thing guys, causative verbs are used in all the tenses. In all the tenses, we use it with present tense, past tense and future tense. And we also use causative verbs with modals. Okay? Today we will talk about make and get. Make and get. So now, when you force someone to do a job, you use make. You use make as a causative verbs. Like when you have the feeling of forcing someone to do the job, where you don't leave any option for other person, right? At that situation, you use make. Okay, let's go for some examples just to make it more clear. So if you see on this slide, the first example says she makes her husband do all household jobs. That means she forces her husband, okay, she asks her husband many times to do the job, okay? So she makes her husband do all household jobs. Guys, in case of make, when we use make as in an active sentence, we don't use to with the first form of the verb. Like we don't use infinitive. Let's go for another example. I make my students do their homework. I make my students do their homework. Or his manager made him work for long hours. So guys, one more thing I would like to clear here, that when you talk about make, the word make, okay, with make we always use the first form of the verb. We use the base form. Okay, the word make changes. It changes. The causative verb, make is causative verb here. It changes according to the sentence, right? For example, if you're talking about present simple tense, if you're using a present simple tense, you use makes if the subject of your sentence is he, she, it, or any name. So for example, she makes her husband do all household jobs. Or the next example, it says, I make my students do their homework. I make my students do their homework. So present simple tense says that we do not add s or es if the subject of your sentence is I, we, you, they, right? Now next sentence is his manager made him work for long hours, right? So if you see that this is past tense, and in past tense we use second form of the verb, and as I told you that make changes according to the tense. So here make is now made. Okay, this is the second form. Or let's go for another example. The government makes people pay the tax. Or he will make his son work hard for his exam. Or he can't make him cook food every day. He can't make him cook food every day. Okay, so guys, now I will talk about the formulation. This is the slide where I have explained about the formulation. So let's start with the formulation. We start our sentence with subject. Subject means, cause, the reason, right? Okay, so for example, I make him clean my house. So here I is the subject. So we start with subject, then the causative verb, that is make, and then object. Object, that means the person who does the job, and the base verb. As I told you that we always use base verb. So first sentence, I make him clean my house. So here I is the subject, make is the causative verb, him is the object, clean is the first form of the verb. Or next example, people made him run from the town. People made him run from the town. So guys, this was all about make. All right guys, so let's talk about get now. So guys, we use get to talk about the situation where we convince someone, we request someone to do the job, right? We don't force anyone to do the job. Instead, we convince that person to do the job. For example, if I have some problems in my teeth and I go to dentist, can I force him? Can I force him to check my teeth? No, I can't force him. What I can do, I can request him. I can convince him to check my teeth. So guys, in case of force, when you have the feeling of forcing someone, you use make. But if you convince someone, you use get, right? Let's go for some example here. I get my hair cut every month. I get my hair cut every month. Guys, one more thing here I would like to tell you that with get, we always use the third form of the verb. The main verb, it is always in third form, right? The past participle form. And whatever the changes are made, the changes are made in get. Okay, so get, sometimes it becomes gets, sometimes it becomes got. That depends on tense, right? So first example, I get my hair cut every month. That means I don't cut my hair, I get it cut. Cut is the third form. Cut, cut, cut. Or another example, she got her phone repaired in the service center. Okay, so if you see, this is the past simple tense, and in past simple tense we use second form of the verb, so it's now got, not get. And if you talk about the main verb is in third form, repaired, repair, repaired, repaired. Or let's go for another example. Will you get this job done for him? Will you get this job done for him? Future simple. In future simple, we use will with the first form of the verb. So if you see that, will and the get is in first form. However, the main verb is in third form, done, do, did, done. Okay. Next example is he gets his car parked on the road. Okay. So present simple, he, she, it, or any name. So with he, we add s or es. So get is now gets. Go for another example. We got the room cleaned in the morning. We got the room cleaned in the morning. Now guys, let's talk about the formulation. This is the slide where I have explained about formulation. So we start with subject, then get, and then the object, and third form the verb. Okay, so he got his house painted last week. He, subject, got, causative verbs, house, that's the object, and the third form the verb. Or I will get my shoes polished tomorrow. Okay, so guys, this was all about causative verbs. This was all about get and make. I hope guys you have understood it. Now you have got good clarification about get and make. But again, if you need more clarification or if you need any assistance, leave a comment here. and I will make another video on that. And guys, I would really appreciate you if you could subscribe my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends so that they can also learn about causative verbs. All right. Thank you very much for taking time and watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.